In late 2000, Nintendo wanted to create a flagship sequel to Super Smash Bros. For the upcoming Nintendo GameCube. 13 months away. Workdays turned into 14-hour marathons with no days off. It was brutal. It was a pressure-cooking development crunch that was simply meant to ensure the GameCube had a killer party game at launch. Welcome back to Secret Levels. Today we are stepping into the arena to look back at Super Smash Bros. Melee. What was built as a rushed party game turned into something nobody expected. A hyper-fast, mechanically deep, accidental competitive masterpiece that players are still grinding, streaming, and filling arenas over 20 years later over. Let's break down why Melee was simply unable to die. When Sakurai built Melee, he wanted the physics engine to feel responsive and fluid. But because of the rushed development, the game was left with raw, uncapped physics interactions that opened up a galaxy of unintended tech. Mechanics like wavedashing, air dodging diagonally into the floor. They weren't built as intentional combat mechanisms, but the engine allowed it. L-canceling, half-landing lag, precise directional influence let everyone that played survive the most absurd hits at crazy percentages. Instead of breaking the game, these interactions elevated it and made Melee took it from a fun party brawler into an insanely high APM, lightning-fast fighting game with skill ceiling so high that it has not been hit to this day. You can't talk about Melee without talking about the GameCube controller. The octagonal gates around the analog stick that gave players a tactical notch, positions for perfect angles, the spring-loaded analog triggers. It allowed light shielding, hard shielding, amazing performance with this layout. It felt organic, and it became the extension of your own hand. The kinetic tactile feedback created a physical connection between player and screen. It's the reason why 2 decades and 4 console generations later, Nintendo still manufactures GameCube controllers specifically because of that game. Of course, it was before esports were big. Melee was just the ultimate sleepover game, right? The single-player content alone was staggering. Adventure mode took you through side-scrolling Nintendo worlds. Classic mode gave you trophies to collect. The target tests challenged your movement precisely. Whether you were a kid throwing Pokeballs on Hyrule Temple with items turned on max or a tournament player grinding frame data, Melee accommodated everyone. It possessed a raw, energetic, soul-capturing moment in Nintendo's one historical game package. Nintendo has since released 4 sequels since 2001, each getting bigger with larger rosters, but none of them ever matched the raw speed, freedom, and competitive longevity that Melee had. It's a game born from a 13-month crunch, 14-hour days that accidentally created a lifelong legacy. 20-plus years. CRTVs are still glowing. Fans still screaming, and Melee remains immortal. And that is why we'll always hold an untouchable crown on Secret Levels. Thanks for watching, and let me know, who was your Day 1 main back in 2001? I know for me, it was Mr. Game & Watch.